Before we get into survivor-specific countering tips, let's start this off with some general tips that apply to everyone. Universal tip 1. Know who to target first. You see, a character like Guest, a Sentinel, is going to be very easy to deal with as long as there isn't an annoying Elliot or Dusekkar constantly healing and shielding him, making your life as the killer a medieval torturing session. But there's only one exception. If you look at the bottom left and you see someone running Chance, immediately go to them and kill them off while they have weakness. Chance's hat fix doesn't get unlocked till later in the game, and most of the time you can probably just 3-shot Chance right at the beginning and just get rid of him. So as a simple rule to follow, kill off the supports first, not just whoever's like closest to you. Universal tip 2. Don't lose track of time. You see, sometimes you just won't catch whoever you're trying to catch, and giving that chase up is the better play. But if you do that, then they'll just heal. So what is the thing that tells us when to stop? It's health and time. If you've been in a chase for a whole minute and you've only done like 40 damage, you should have given that chase up a long time ago. But if you've already landed an M1 and it's been like 10 seconds, then you're on the right track. So what's the tipping point in between those two scenarios? Setting aside all the specifics, is 2 damage per second. So if you've been in a chase for 30 seconds, you should have done 60 damage. If it's lower than that, that chase isn't going too well. You should probably give it up and go after someone else for the time. But what about the people that we left? When do we go back to them? That's where universal tip 2.5 comes in. Don't let damaged survivors breathe. Every killer in Forsaken has a way to pressure people that aren't in a chase. This can be Cool Kid's minions, Noli's clone, or the idea that Slasher is actually close to you and you just can't see him. Use those things to make them have an uncomfortable time healing. And universal tip 3. Don't pick no whack killer, man. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you're struggling against a lobby of sweats, don't pick friggin' Slasher or Nosferatu. Pick Guest 666 or Azure, since they're the ones running this block right now. Okay, now those were the universal tips. Now let's get into survivor-specific countering tips. Elliot and Dusekkar. Now, these two survivors are mainly focused on supporting others. So, I mean, just run after them and kill them. They can't really do much for themselves. All Elliot has is Rush Hour, but it was severely nerfed in the Azure update, so it's basically useless now. And Dusekkar can't do anything in a chase for himself. All he does is support others from far away. And before you say, what if he hits you with his laser beam? My guy, if he somehow pulls his staff out and hits you with his laser beam mid-chase, we got way bigger problems. Now make sure to isolate them when you go after them. Doing that while keeping your basic killer skills in check should genuinely be enough to kill off any Dusekkar or Elliot. Noob. Now, in a chase, you only need to look out for his Bloxy Cola. As you approach, Noob's going to see you and pop his Bloxy Cola. Since his version of the Bloxy is quicker to pop than the ones on the ground, this is kind of hard to avoid. This is where you're forced to make it go to waste. If you're running Noli, Guest 666, Nosferatu, or Cool Kid, this is the time to actually follow him while being conservative on your stamina. When 10 seconds pass, which is the duration of his Bloxy Cola, close the gap that he made with his extra speed with a dash or teleport, and start the chase with full stamina and have Noob's Bloxy be on cooldown. This is where Noob turns exactly into Elliot and Dusekkar from a section ago, just a guy running around. Again, just keep your basics in check and you should kill off any noob without problem. If you're on a killer that I didn't mention, do the same thing until the dash part, but instead of dashing, just run to him. This is still better than trying to damage a noob with his Bloxy Cola buff on. Also, just make sure the gap doesn't get too big. Keep it at a medium distance. Shadletsky, TwoTime, and Jane Doe. These are the big three when it comes to melee stuns, and the way to counter them all is very simple. You just have to expect it. Almost every time you get stunned by these characters, you're distracted. You're either completely focused on looping or managing your stamina, which takes you off your toes when it comes to reacting to stuns. You see, all three of these characters have very avoidable stuns. Jane Doe's stun has a long ass wind up, Shadletsky's is fast but it has very short range, and TwoTime can can only stun you from your back. These are all handicaps that make reacting to them really easy, but most people forget to even react since they're not even looking. And if you just stop the stuns, their whole kit starts to crumble. TwoTime gets absolutely destroyed since he can't heal and hit his oblation. Jane Doe will miss out on the HP from the stuns and has to rely on her pots, and Shaletsky won't have enough time to pop a chicken if he doesn't stun you to make distance. Chance. As I said in Universal Tip 1, kill Chance off immediately. Chance is honestly not that good right now, and the main reason is this window of weakness right at the beginning. Chance has to flip his coin to get charges, and for every time it doesn't land on R, he gains 1 stack of weakness. And until he rolls 3 Rs and gains 3 charges, he cannot use Hat Fix, which removes the weakness. This is the time to strike. But what if for some reason you don't manage to get to him and he doesn't have weakness when you need him? Well, fear not, Chance is a piece of shit right now, so even then you're probably good. All you need to do to avoid his gun is to just juke it out, give him a quick left right, and he'll most likely overcorrect and miss you. That is if the gun even shoots in the first place. Also, much like the other sentinels I mentioned before, make sure to keep an eye on him if he gets close to save a teammate from a chase. Builderman. Now, Buildermen are sacred and you should not even try to counter them at all. You should probably let them win, but in a hypothetical scenario that you would want to commit an act of heresy that you definitely shouldn't do, this is the way to do it. As I said in the beginning, supports are the ones you should kill off first, and Builderman is a support character. In terms of killing him, you first need to get rid of his sentry on the map. Just find where it is and kill it. Since it takes super long to place, you won't have the time to put another one down. When it's gone, again, we have an Elliot and Dusekkar situation. He's just a guy running around. Also, since the sentry's whole point is to give a looping advantage, taking John Doe or Azure can really mess up Builderman because you effectively disable that sentry without wasting time on it. But you should never do this, and me explaining this is probably a very sinful act. Press that subscribe button to save me from eternal hell for doing this. Guest 1337. Now, playing guest and beating guest is actually the same thing. In order to be a good guest, you need to fool the killer into hitting you when you expect it. Now, as the killer, you need to make yourself look like a fool falling into his trap, but not follow through with an M1. It's all mind games. But neat man, what if the guest is a sweat and he can do react or drag parries? Well, you can fake that too. Flick away your M1 at the last second so that your avatar moves, he sees it and he reacts, but the hitboxes don't connect. On top of all of this, his punch and charge abilities are also mind games. A good guess is going to take advantage of the increased knockback on ramps and stairs, so you'll see them on top of platforms pretty frequently. Again, you can fool them into thinking you're actually going to climb it, and then they're going to look like a total dumbass when they waltz down the stairs. Veeronica. V's whole point is her skateboard, which drains her stamina but gives her a bunch of distance. So if you grab Noli for example and void rush in her direction, even if you don't connect the dash, you will get super close to a survivor that looks like this. It's gonna be an easy chase. Also keep in mind that if you get Veeronica to 1 HP, she can't heal a massive chunk of health with a medkit, and she has to rely on her battery. So if she gets away, you can kinda let her chill if you feel the need to do so. One last thing to mention, if you see her on top of a platform like I explained on guest, you also need to expect her ramming into you. Be extra careful, hers is way stronger than guest's charge. 007 and 7. The key to countering 007 is to honestly just not leave him for LMS. Other than that, all you really need to do is to just look carefully at his avatar and make sure you're not chasing a clone. Also, if you notice 007 moving a little NPC-like, make sure to not feel stupid, it happens to the best of us. Also, if he's on 1 HP, be on the lookout for the classic clone parry. I'm too bad to do it myself, but it's when you clone at the last second and the killer gets forced into the kill animation, leaving you with plenty of time to run away. Taph. Now, Taph's whole kit gets ripped into shreds with just attention. In a chase, look at the ground and pre-M1 any traps you see. If you time your M1 correctly, you can actually pop her subspace trip mine without them giving you helpless and that weird camera rotation. Her wires are easier to time, but they're harder to notice. Again, as I said, you just gotta pay attention to the floor to counter her.
Do you suffer from being dookied on and forsaken? Do you want to be the guy that everyone praises in the game chat? Do you want to be him? I've compiled every single one of my guides into a playlist, and it's been said that the ones that watch it instantly gain 50 days of playtime. Wow. But what if I'm not cool and Sigma and I just want to play the game to lose? Well, this wasn't for you in the first place. Click here for the playlist.